Go.
Alright, we're back for another video today, but we're not cooking today, and we're certainly not doing Pokemon today. We're doing something a little bit different. You can see we got our used kayak here. We have other plans besides just kayaking, because I can't kayak. But, what's the biggest problem you have when you buy a kayak or something similar to that? Where the heck do you put it, right? Big problem for a lot of people. Well, here's the solution that I came up with. When we had kayaks in the past, we're going to try this solution today. But before we do, big shout out to Gamer Sanctum in Sparta, Wisconsin, and Cooley Cards and Gaming, 7 locations throughout the country. Both sponsors of the channel. Check them out on the social medias. They'll take care of you right. Let's take a look at this. Now we got a 10-foot kayak, give or take. And what I need to do, actually before we start with that, let's do this. Walk this way. My intentions are to hang that kayak up underneath our carport, or our lean-to, or whatever you want to call it. And what I want to do is I'm going to come up in here and I'm going to hang into these joists right here. So what I'm going to try to figure out, this might get in the way a little bit. That might get in the way a little bit. I want to figure out, we got a 10-foot kayak. I think if we run it this way, maybe we'll be all right. I want to see how much room I have, first of all, for our hangers. Okay? And we could probably do 6 foot. Oh, that's going to be tough. All right, we'll figure it out. No worries, we can do it. So we come back out to our kayak. Let's go walk this way again.
It's like on the road, but walking.
So 6 foot-ish. Let's see where that puts us. We're going to be right at these guys here. If I get the damn thing to hold still. No, of course not. It's all right. All right, so 6 foot more or less is going to put us at these and at these. Now we got to do is we got to measure our distance from side to side. This all makes sense once you see what we start doing. 1.25 inch pipe, so we'll go 26 and 24. All right, 24 and 26. Let's go over to the garage. I gotta go turn the radio off so we don't get copyright flag. 26, 24. There we go. So we're going to make something that's actually going to be really simple and really economical for you to build. Anybody can do this as long as you can run a saw and a tape measure, which I'm not good at either one of those. We're going to make this a PVC pipe. We've got a couple elbows, some caps, and the most critical thing to do with this, other than having the hangers for the pipe itself, we got to have hangers for the pipe. You'll see where those come into play once you go to install it. And of course, you've got to have glue and primer. So the one thing that people struggle with a lot with PVC, and I'm still very included in that situation, is when you go to measure the length of pipe that you need, you also have to take into consideration the fittings. So for example, I didn't buy enough elbows. We might have to go back to the store and get 2 more elbows. Yeah, we will. We'll make one. We'll show them how to make one, and then we'll go get more parts and then come back. But what I always try to do is if we hook it side there, you can see there's a little lip in there. That's where the pipe's going to stop once you put it in. And I'll try to measure that, and that's usually going to be the diameter of the pipe. So that's about 1.25 inches. So if we take 1.25 inches off the total length of this fitting, which is about 3.25, we know we're going to add 2 more inches onto the grand total length of our piece that we're going to make. One of our pieces has to be 24 inches, one of them has to be 26 inches, right? Right. So, we're going to have a 24-inch outer diameter, or inner diameter. I'm having a little trouble doing math today. We've been out in the sun working all day. I'm a little bit slow. So please bear with me. I do need 2 more elbows. Okay, so let me get my handy dandy marking tool. behind. 24, we'll put that out to 27. 28. Here, diameter. I think we can do it with just doing our straight up measurements. We're going to go 24 right there. And you can draw a pretty line around it if you want. I personally don't. But that's just my opinion. Let me see where we got the tool over here. And we are a little disorganized. We've been doing a lot of projects out here, working on a lot of our new things that we've been doing, or are about to do, or however you want to look at it. And I'm going to throw that on the floor. So we need a razor knife, we need a blade for our saw. I tend to use the finer blades. I'm cutting these tight, but you do what you do. Whatever works best for you. I prefer the metal type blades when I'm cutting PVC. It makes a little bit cleaner edge. And we've just got our reciprocating saw here that we're going to use. And I will tell you this right now that I absolutely suck at cutting straight lines. So you'll probably see me cut a crooked line. Here we go. There, we cut through that. I always get a razor knife because I like to deburr these things, especially if I'm using them for like actual water. It makes a better seal. You don't leak as bad. It's just better for you. So you only got to do it once. God knows I'm lazy and I want to do things all at once. All right. So we've got one of our pieces cut. And one other thing we forgot to measure is the height of the boat. So let's go back and do that. In my seeing pieces so I can see what it's blinding out here. And there's a lot of variation in height when it comes to the top of this kayak, with the seat back and everything like that. So we're not going to use that side. We're going to use the bottom. We're going to hang this thing upside down. It'll also help try to keep the water out of it, even though we're going to be under a cover. We're still going to do it by hanging it upside down. So we're about, oh, my eyes are burning. What is that, about 10 and a half, 11? We'll go 11. And about 13, 14 there. We'll go 11 and we'll go 12 and 14, just keep it easy. We got to have room to get it in and out too, so we'll go 13 and 15. Okay. Fun stuff. Let's see if our leftover piece of it. 12 and a quarter. Dang nabbit. We'll use that for something later on another part. We're going to go 13 on the front. So again, same thing. You guys saw this earlier. This is pretty easy to do. Again, gang, there's nothing really hard about doing any of this stuff. If you don't have a reciprocating saw like that, you can use a hacksaw. You could use a grinding wheel if you only have metalworking tools. That would probably work just fine too. Just do with what you got. Lord knows I don't like buying a lot of extra stuff. And I had this PVC left over from, I don't even know what project I had it left over from. But the fittings are, I think these straps were 54 cents. The fittings are like $1.50, $1.25, something like that. All right, so we've got our pieces here. Which one of these is going to cut? Number 8. All right, put this one over here for now. Now we're going to do our gluing. Now, anytime you glue PVC pipe together, and you don't have to glue these together, but I highly encourage you to do so because the cap's on too tight. handy pliers. Pliers in the right way and you can open it a bit. There we go. There we are. Always recommend you using glue as well as primer. The primer will help soften the plastic up a little bit. It'll also clean dirt off that you might have on there. And because you get the pretty purple one, you can see when you've got it cleaned off, if you've got it covered, blah, 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 blah. Now, it isn't as important to have that kind of stuff when you're doing it on a project like this, but if you are doing plumbing, I highly encourage it. Whew. Just don't get too close to the can. That one's tight too. All right. Oh, my goodness. Barbecue man's getting old and weak and old in his old age. Here we are. Press 1 for English. As Mickey says, press 3 for blah-blah-blah. Alright, so our primer's probably dried. A lot of people will go with heavy glue on these. I like to go with a little bit of glue on both sides. You don't need, gobs and gobs and gobs of glue. There we are. Both of our insides. And we can start joining our pieces together. Don't worry, I built too much so far, does it? Pretty self-explanatory, pretty easy. Again, I screwed up. Alright, so we probably need a 3-inch piece. We'll cut next. And that is going to be our tail. You'll see that in a minute. Rest assured, I'm going to show you one of these. We'll have to go back to the store, like I said, buy a couple more elbows. I'll show you that one after it's done, because I don't want to bore you doing the same things over and over again. Really need to put a spring on down on the floor so I can bounce that stuff back up and catch it. You got a lot of time to work with PVC in the past or not? Yeah, I did. Well, it's a refresher thing for you, but some people get very intimidated by doing plumbing. And I will tell you that PVC is one of the easiest things to work with. As long as you take your time, do the things the way you're supposed to do them, follow the directions. I know most guys don't read the directions. They just look at the pictures. That's it. And again, these aren't going to be picture perfect. I really don't need them to be. All they got to do is just function. When we're doing this for a project like this, where watertight, airtight, whatever, is not that critical. We don't have to be as careful as we do when we're doing things for actual water. But it's a good practice to do just in case. Then just a thin coat of glue around each piece. And then on the inside here, we do both sides of the joint just in case we do happen to miss a spot. We got a little help from our friends. Gonna try. Now I want to get these things lined up to about straight up and down, or both elbows being in the exact same direction as I can. I didn't do that one yet. Better glue it. It's easier to put the glue on and actually help. Yeah, I did. Alright, so there we're starting to take shape. The beautiful thing about building these like this is I went out and measured. Now let's look and see how close I got. Because I do make a lot of mistakes doing this. weren't we supposed to be like, was it 13 inches wide? Okay. So I did do it right. We're about 12 and a half, 12 and 3/4, something like that.
Said
Should be pretty close.
you said 13 and 15
That's
wide.
God knows I shouldn't listen to me. Alright. Now again, this part here probably isn't as necessary because this is going to be semi-outdoors, if you will, even if you won't. I am going to do this just to make these watertight as far as like rainwater and stuff goes, because no matter how much I put them under the carport, it never seems to be enough to keep things from getting wet. If you look out there at the carport, you see that I got tarps hanging up in there. That's partly to keep from eyeballs looking in and seeing things we might have in there years and years ago before I replaced the fence. My son had his bicycle out there. And the fence was one board on, one board off, one board on, one board off. Somebody had a hammer out there one day and was prying the fence panels off to try to get the bike out. So, keeps prying eyes out, keeps some of the birds out from building nests in there. That hasn't panned out as well as it should be. But anyway, we always try to keep things as dry as we can when they're in the carport. Here we are. That's all we need. Now we'll take this outside. We'll grab our drill, our hangers, show you what we do next. Probably should use some screws too, that might be useful. Yeah, things are kind of chaotic in here right now. We've been getting our new projects going, trying to work on about 72 different things at one time, so it's been a little bit nuts in here as we try to have everything land in its new home, if you will. Can you grab me the drill, sir? And I will meet you outside. Here we are. So ideally, I would want to run these, and we might do it. I won't have room. It'll be all right. What we're going to do is we're going to hang this up, something like that, give or take. And the idea behind this is we have enough slack in our hangers where they'll rest against this cap, and then we can turn them out of the way when we're not using the rack for the kayak. Obviously, at the beginning we will. But let's say it's time to go out on the boat. Okay, we throw the kayak in the boat, fold those in so if somebody comes later and cut the grass, they've got room to not beat their head on these things. Drill, please. Thank you. That's the theory, anyway. Now, it was a little bit easier years ago when we had kayaks that we actually kayaked in, because we were able to do this in the garage, and I was able to build these things like 7 feet tall, and they rested on the concrete. Oh boy, feeling good today, gang. Mine it should about 1.5 inches. That'll be all right. They'll move. Mine should about 1.5 inches. It'll be okay. So there we go. There's one of them up. There we are. There's one done, one to go. But again, the theory is this will rest on here, it'll hang on there, so the weight should be evenly distributed. We've got to build another one that'll go back there once I go get more elbows. But they will turn out of the way so you can hang your kayak on it. So I'm going to go run to the store and do that. We'll be back to show you the other half of this. Alright. Alright, so as you can see, we got the second one built after I went and got more parts. Hammer Fab worked on the pieces while I was gone, and we should be all ready to rock and roll. And I didn't grab any more screws, so I'll have to do that. Let me go grab screws. I'll be right back.
Rolling.
See what happens when you get old? You forget everything, so whatever you do, don't get old. Anyway, we got screws and clamp and hangers too. So we're gonna go about 6 foot, give or take. And that's about there roughly, okay? Now the good news about this thing is even if you don't get it just perfect, you're gonna have some flexibility. We don't worry about that too much. Should have been more than 4 hands. This will be much easier. Alright, here we go. Putting in the screw. We're gonna go. I'll go there. Yeah, put the screw through the pipe, genius. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that should be about right. There we are. Start one, that way we can use the extra hand. Woo! I honestly can't remember how I did it on the first ones. There we are. Cool. Now we need the other clamp, our bracket hanger. And again, gang, these are just conduit hangers or pipe. They can be pipe hangers too, I guess. That's what we're using them for. They're 54 cents at our local hardware store. The elbows were about $2. The caps were about $1.40. So minus the cost of the pipe and the screws and the glue, we're into this for 12 bucks, something like that. Let's see if we can swing them out of the way. So these are going to swing out of the way. We're going to bring the kayak in and we'll show you how that looks once we get it up here. I think we could have went a lot high, a lot shorter in this distance, but I think so we weren't exactly on our measurements, and that's perfectly all right. I had planned on being a little bit closer to here and hanging it upside down, but this actually works better. And the reason I think it works better is because it keeps it on its side. It doesn't take up as much room, so we've still got room to walk in and out to get the lawnmower and the things out. This will keep the water out of it, keeps it dry, keeps it minimally sun faded, maybe a little on the bottom, but I think we're in business. And again, for under $20, we've got kayak hangers in our carport. Thanks so much for joining us, guys. Hopefully this tip will help you out a little bit. Please like, share, subscribe, bring a ding that bell notification, comment below. Let us know what you think of our project. Until next time, gang, we hung up our kayak finally. You can do it too. See you next time.